Same bank clothes. I can show you guys the Shanty Town demo. That game is out now. It's really cute. I think we'll do that. Shanty Town's fun. I don't know if I made it all the way through the demo. Maybe I did. Actually, I don't know if I can play it again. That game just came out though, and I really want it. Medieval Fest on Steam. I know. I don't have any money till Friday. I'm totally broke. I have just enough money in my bank account for bills right now. So I can't spend money. Because I think 2 of my games on my wish list are on sale right now. Let's see, where's my wish list? Ah. Oh yeah, I gotta get rid of this. Gotta get rid of this guy. Boop. Goodbye. So this game on my wish list is on sale. Dorf Romantic for $8. Wish list at 21. That's tame. Is it? Listen, I don't ask for much. Oh yeah, Unreal 2 is on. Actually, a lot of my games are on sale. Fuck. Shanty Town. I want this game. It's only $14, $13.50. 158. You know what? Les also has a huge game list. I looked at her game list. Half of my games on my list aren't out yet. They're up and coming. Also, these are in reverse order. Oh, because they're sorted by discount. My rank. Like, Citytropolis, not out. Faraway Lands, not out. Metropolis, 1998. This game's gonna be fucking sick. I'm so excited for this city builder game. You have no idea. Cloudscapers, great game. Played the demo. Not out yet. Grave Seasons, want to play that. Demon Farm, want to play that. Spirit's Dead. I have so many games to look forward to this year. Add you. I'm gonna go over here because I don't know if it'll show my code on stream. Ta 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 ta. No, no, no. Why does it say that? Oh my god, wouldn't it be fun if we did a stream where I rated your guys' Steam wish lists? Wait, that could be a fun stream. I'm trying to come up with ideas because I think in July when I do my wait. No, let me clean up. I'm not gonna do it right now. I think in July when I do my debut, it'll probably be July or August. I think I want to do a subathon. I've never done one. And if I do, that could be one of the. I've been trying to come up with ideas of like goals, fun goal streams for subathons. So that could be a fun one for that as a goal. All right, I'm gonna go pee and I'll be right back. You guys hang out here for a second, chat. All right, I'm back. A little higher. I yawned. I'm a yawner. I did the yawn thing. No yawn. I yawned. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? I'm waiting. Chat. I'll yawn if I want to. Why you pick on me, chat? Huh? Why you do this? Shut up, Hubba. Nobody asked you. My own robot turned against me. It's mutiny, I tell ya. Mutiny. Can't believe this. Excuse me. There you go. Take that. No yawn or riot. I dare you. my boyfriend's one buddy that he plays games with sometimes. They were playing games. I know that was a weak one. Thank you though. He was playing games with him one night, and his kids like wouldn't settle down and go to bed. So he was like, "If you guys don't settle down, I'm gonna come in there and bust some kneecaps." And it was really funny because, oops, wrong one. His daughter was just like, "Do it, Daddy. I dare you. You won't do it. Do it, Daddy." I was like, "Damn, you better watch out for that one. She's gonna be a pain in the ass when she becomes a teenager." She's just like, "Do it. You won't." I was like, "Fuck. Look out for that one." And that's why Chi doesn't have children. I don't want to deal with that shit someday. No thanks. I'm good. Also, I'm really bad and I forget stuff. Like, sometimes my boyfriend and I each think that the other one fed the dog. And then we end up not feeding her until late because we thought the other one did. And I'm like, see, this is why we can't have children. Because they'll fucking starve. We'll just forget that we have a kid. And they just won't eat. And then we'll get in trouble and go to jail or something. Bad enough poor Lola and Wookie have to put up with me. I'm just special. I am. I'm special. What is this? Ashen, what did you do? Ash! Get loved on, nerd! Whoa. I slipped. I slipped, fell, landed on this game. Thank you so much. That's really nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. They're super sweet. It's a really cute game. I played the demo and it's fun. Install. I'm gonna play it right now. Let me change my Twitch info. Ba-ding! Bum, 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 bum. Which game? It's called Shanty Town. It's a cozy builder game. It's really cute. Ba, 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 ba. And I get in a hole. Shanty Town, brought to you by at oops, stupid Twitch. Shanty Town. There we go. I wonder if he's about. Yes. I wish I was making it up. Literally, I have zero money. I have just enough money to make my mortgage payment. That's all I got. Had to ask Chat GPT for that? No clue. Wait, what? Alright, where did I go? I can delete the demo now because I have the real game. Uninstall. I'm gonna pause our music. Over here. Oh, for what the game was. I got you. Oh. Changes made to the save system and made old saves incompatible. Can I reset your save? Yes. Shanty Town. Well, it looks like I remembered my volume settings. No sound. Oh, shit. That's right. Can you hear it now? Wazda. I'm gonna replay the intro so you guys can see. Good, good. Ah, yes. Open. Bureau of Development. To Inspector Saffron. Rank, Surveyor, Scout, Urgency, Immediate Deployment. Official summons. It has come to the attention of the High Council that there has been unsanctioned development taking place on Floodlands Island. By decree of the High Council, you are hereby summoned to travel immediately to West Marsh to survey the extent of development. Your objective is to visit the 8 required locations, recreate your experience, take a photo of the development, add it to a dossier? Is that how you say that? Return with the report. Notice: this opportunity is mandatory. Failure to return with the report in hand will result in termination and exile. Damn. That's crazy. Timely completion of the report will forgive previous grievances. Alright. Ooh, pretty. I like this one. My notebook. There are 8 locations I'll need to check out. Better keep this. My camera. I'll need this to take photos of each location for the report. Map of West Marsh. This will come in handy to know where I am and where I need to go next. Oh, it's a file folder. A dossier. I'll keep my report and map in this dossier. Frillboat ticket. Speedboat ticket to West Marsh. Let's get going! Alright, let's go! Zoom! What are those frogs? Why are they wearing a thing? What is that? What is that? This is wild. Boat. I'm a boat. I'm a boat. Welcome, Pierre. Welcome to Shanty Town. Let's learn how to play with a brief tutorial level. Hints. Place objects around the pier. Relax and experiment. Okay. Move the camera. Rotate. Okay. Zoom. Reset camera with G. Oh. Place objects. Click on the button below. Okay. Rotate with Q and E. Oh. Oh yeah. I'm gonna say, how close to the stairs can I get with this? Door. Object variants. Some objects have variants. Press to change model. V. Oh, it's a window. Boat. There's stuff in there. Click on the house. Buildings require a certain amount of services to upgrade. Light, utility, and decor. Oh. So this one needs 2 light, 1 utility, and 2 decor. Aircon. Whoa, what's this? Another building? I just heard Red in the background crashing out during an Overwatch match. Oh no! Uh-oh. I hope he's okay. Poor Red. Poor Stinky Fox. He know not what he do. He's probably bumming. He just got back into... What was it? Grandmaster? A window. Oh no, I hid the whole building. Put it there. Cafe sign. Right here. What is this? Oh. Decor. This bench. There's variations. Yeah, I like that bench. I can move it after I place it? Let's go! I didn't know I could do that. Alright, I'll eat now. Have fun playing Chi. Have a great rest of your... Thank you, Ashton. Thank you again for the game. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That was really nice. I have some of the greatest friends on the planet. Over here's kind of in the way. I should probably go here. I'll put it here. Vending machine. Don't worry about it. Bye bye. Bye. Buildings will highlight if the request object type you're holding. Oh, if they request the object type you're holding. Okay. Nice. Rotate. That was a little aggressive. There's more than one. Complete your goals. Or place all objects to take a photo and complete the location. It upgraded! It's pink now! Hey, it looks really cute. It's like a fancy roof. Yeah, I want to put this plant. I also put this table. The cafe needs a table, right? Oh, I like that they snap in the right direction. That's super nice, actually. Okay, I have to remember that right click is to rotate. Because I keep wanting to middle mouse click, and that's just not how it works. Click and drag the square to set the focus. This plant. Go away, boat! You're in my picture! Yeah, that's better. What is this? Toggle weather? Oh, that's cool. I'm done. Location complete. Complete survey. Read all tutorials. Let's go! New creative mode items unlocked. Welcome Pierre. Sick! We're doing it. Now what? Next location, small shrine. Sites to survey. Lighthouse, Marshlands Pipe, Hot Pot Casino, Farm Harbor, Silo Ridge, The Barge, Hillside Bazaar, Temple Bathhouse. Cool. And then there's more than one location at each of those. That's kind of neat. Alright, let's go to the next one. I think in the demo we did that one in the lighthouse. Like the actual lighthouse. I got my cookie. I got these low calorie. They're almost like a graham cracker. But there's vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry like Neapolitan. And they're shaped like little bunnies. They're really cute. Oh. And they're really good. Some locations like this one are quite quick. Notice how many objects remain in the bottom left corner. Oh, we're literally like right here. Oh, there's a cool gateway. Precise rotation. Hold to rotate an object precisely. R. Oh, control the weather. You can change the time of day and weather here. Okay. There's no variance of this. Oh. Stilted temple. Aww, it's a little shiny spot. The light. It says it's done, but I want it to look nice. What is that? Statue. Object color. Press C while placing an object to change its color. Oh. That's cool. E. There we go. Roof crown. Aww. Yay, the gate upgraded. Can I move it slightly? Okay, I can change the color. Yeah, let's make it red. Cute. Cool. Make the gate the focus. Nice. I'm done. Location complete. Let's go. Oh no, we didn't upgrade the temple. Can I do it again? I want to complete everything. Oh, I didn't unlock everything because I didn't do this one. I forgot to click on the temple and see what it needed to upgrade. That was my bad. Let's do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Again! I'm gonna do something similar. It's shaped different this time. Is it R and what's this? Alright, and then we click on it. It needs 1 light and 4 decor. Okay. One light. Oh no, that's not a light. That's a... light. What does this need to upgrade? 1 light and 2 decor. Okay. And this needs... Oh, does this not count as a light? What is this? Oh, it's incense. Oh, I thought it was a little lamp. Let's put it in here. Alright, so you need a light over here. And a light over here. And you still need 2 decor. Does this not count as a decor? I guess it doesn't. Where's this front? I can't tell. Huh. Alright, well, you're going right there. They're working? Okay, good. The pots don't count as anything, they just exist. decor. We can put the palm tree there. I'm gonna put this up here. Up here! Wait, can I change the color? I can. This one kind of matches the bottom more. Let's do that one. Cool! Palm trees. Yay, we got both upgraded. Cool. I'm done. There, we got everything that time. So you gotta make sure you pay attention to what the buildings need so they upgrade. So you get the full points. Small shrine. Cute. Wait, this was the old picture. Nice! We did it! Alright, next one. Visit the lighthouse? Heck yeah! Let's go. I'm ready. Is that a bird? What is that? The lighthouse? Oh! Thank you so much for the follow! Welcome to Sector 313. The lighthouse. Construct a few houses and shops around the lighthouse. Buildings can stack when space is limited. Place buildings soon to take advantage of objects' range. Okay. So as soon as you get buildings, you should place them. I think that's what it's saying. What a goofy looking bird! Look at him. It's a dinosaur. Yeah, like a noodle house, like a ramen shop. I'm gonna snug it right here. Door for the ramen shop and a window. It's a big window. Yeah. Stools? Stools. Heck yeah. Alright, and then we got a cat. Whoa, this is huge. We got a cafe. Whoops. There's a window on that side. Oh, well, it's blank. It's kind of a big building. Excuse me, bird. Alright, and then this house. Can I put it up here? Can I put it down here? Feels huge. it's like clipping into the lighthouse. That doesn't look good. This is too big. I want a different one. That's kind of cool. It builds a little stilt. Hold to see all buildings, desired services at once. Left. Oh. Oh, that's kind of nice. Don't ask me how that's actually possible. But there it is. Oh my gosh. Alright, left alt. So you need 3 utilities, you need 1 utility, and you need 3 utilities. Okay. You also need a door. Where's your door at? Oh, it's right here, I think. Another building? Oh, I forgot I could push B and get different variations. Don't know how they're gonna get up there, but... Shop sign. Okay, how are we doing here on things? Alt. You still need utilities, like a lot. Rotate. Another building? Oh my gosh. Put another small building here. There we go. Power pole. Ooh, this could affect everyone. Dang, there's just wires everywhere. Okay. This is a decoration and a light. Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay, Q. Ooh, the green's kind of nice. Alright, who still needs... This house needs a utility. We need lots of utilities. I think I'm gonna put this on this house. Let's make it even more back heavy. Why not? Should I put it here on this one? I feel like this is the best spot. There's a lot of room. Choose an upgrade reward? Vending machine, balcony, or planter. I need utilities. Take another balcony, I guess. I don't know where the hell I'm gonna put it though. I mean, it kind of works actually. It kind of works. I have another building too, which is kind of unfortunate. They don't really have a lot of room. Oh wait, that's kind of cute that I made like a ladder. Hey, doesn't do the ladder over here though. Just does it over here. Wait, where'd it go? Right here. I'm gonna give you the balcony. Alright, what do we got going on? You still need 2 utilities. You still need 2 utilities. You already have an aircon. So I'll give you this aircon. Oh, this garbage bin is giant. Oh good, it's affecting that. That's good. This is like bag the trash. That's the perfect spot actually. One shop and 4 buildings. Okay. This just needs a light, honestly. Some decorations. upgrade. Let's do window. Needs light. How much there on cafe? Let's have this. Really need it to be attached to. Yeah. What else do you still need to upgrade? Just one decoration. Okay. Oh! Scared me. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Sector 313. Alright, let's place this window. Who still needed light? Everybody. Everybody! Hello, Phantom. How are you tonight? Let's see. This house already upgraded. And so did that house. A technical question you can try. Or rather, you can, and I can try to answer. No promises on my response. I'll try my hardest. More utilities. Great, we need more utilities. This house needs a utility, actually. Look, this will fit right here. Perfect. Alright, who still needs light? Pretty much everybody. It's really dark down here, though, so... Just waking up? Ooh. Stream CC extension, have you had any issues with it? It seems pretty handy. The only issues I've had is it's wrong a lot. It's not always super accurate. And the only other thing is I've had people complain that it's big and in the way. But you can turn it off. So to those people I say turn it off. It's not worth me to not have it at all, in my opinion. When it can just be shut off if it's annoying for someone. You know? But I think it's good to have for accessibility reasons, you know? What is this button? Oh, it just shows me the other things it comes with. Okay. That's a fair point. Yeah. Like, I just recently had somebody come in and they were complaining about it. How it, like, hurts more than helps. And I'm like, well, you say that, except you're not deaf. So... you don't really know how much it's helping. You know what I mean? Oh, wait, this gave me a mystery. Ooh, I'm gonna take the light, because I need another light. Right. I need a decoration for the ramen shop. Can I put these trees anywhere? Like, can I put one down here? Yeah. Yes, 1 shop and 4 buildings. We did it. I'll put this there because it's really dark. Ooh. Ooh, an awning. You have an awning. There you go. What else do you need? Because you're new. You have these pipes too. Right into the garbage can. So yeah, there's a lot of different plugins for Twitch for Yeah. Captions. Oh, so many windows all of a sudden. What else do you need? One light and one decoration. Well, I don't have that. I have this table, but it doesn't really fit anywhere. I'm not gonna put it in. It turned out kind of cool though. Most CC options tend to have accuracy issues. Yeah, they do, and a lot of that is because they're never gonna be like 100% accurate, and also because we don't speak with perfect pronunciation. You know? Maybe British people. Put the focus right here inside the ramen shop. There's not really a good angle for me to get everything. I'm done. You're not wrong. That's before accents come into it, right? Yeah, and then once you have an accent, it might have a harder time reading. What you're trying to say. Woohoo! We unlocked all the things. Oh, excuse me. We finished a location. Let's go. Next location. Okay. Ooh, it's like a little dock area. Crosswaters, a send-off location for all the boats in the area. Hints, the inn is the only building here. Ooh. It's pink. Put it here. Doors. Variation. Oh, I wish it was like a 3-wide window. That would be cool. It's only 2 wide. Let's put it down here. Actually, we put a 2-wide one down here. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. We have the gateway. Rotate. Yeah. I'm gonna put it really close, like it's an archway into the building. Alright, so what do you need? Oof. Upgrade the gate and upgrade the shop. So we gotta upgrade both things. Good thing we put them close together. 4 decorations, 3 utilities, 1 light, and this needs 1 light and 2 decorations. Okay, it shouldn't be too hard. Love your Abby though. Thank you! I'm actually getting a new one soon because I got a redesign. I'm very excited about my redesign. So that's coming soon. It says there's a chimney, but I can't put it. Oh, I have to put it on the ground. Hey, that's kind of neat. No variations. Can I change the color? Nope. Okay. Dang, that's cool. Signage. Q. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh. Oh, one sec. Allow. There we go. Sucker for the cyberpunk theme and the goggles on the head sold me. Let's go! Yeah, my redesign is gonna be sick. I'm so excited. I already have my new ref sheet, and we have emotes on the way. And I got my new background, but I haven't shown it to anyone yet. It's a secret still. And I bought, yeah, the Kize one. Yep. Yeah. And then I bought the Twin Tails customizable model, and then I got in line with a retexture artist to do the retextures for me. So I'm very excited. It's gonna be awesome. I spent most of my tax return on my rebrand or my redesign. It's not really a rebrand. I mean, it kind of is. I changed the name of my community and stuff to make it make more sense with the cyberpunk theme. Because before I was still a little bit ooh, okay, I didn't know that's how this worked. Okay. We should put it like over here. Put it over here. How far would it go? Oh, but then it doesn't go with... It won't affect the building. First step to, into having your own proper thing. Oh yeah. Because a lot of my stuff was like around Star Wars because I love Star Wars. And... which you can probably tell from my name. But, let me fix automod. There we go. And I decided I needed to get away from that if I was gonna start being more serious about content. I was wondering about that. Yeah, because I don't want to have to worry about lawsuits later. So... the vending machine like right here actually. Yay! Oh, we got an item too. Nice. Let's put those like over here. What is this? This is a big ramen sign. What the heck? Is there variations? Oh, good. Okay. Say this is supposed to be like an inn. Is that a whale? What is that? Okay, so we got noodles. Okay. Under Disney now? Right, exactly. Hey, I don't understand how this sign works. What the heck? There we go. This is gigantic! Maybe I should stick it off this side. I feel like this is a whale. There's an octopus and some fishes. And I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it's a crab claw. And a giant ramen noodles. We'll do the bottle, I guess. Alright, how are we doing? Oh. One decoration and one utility. Alright. Transport sign. We'll put this here. Like this. Alright, we need to put these lights somewhere still. I think I am gonna put them across here. Oh, I have more than one. Over here to this path. There we go. A bench. But yeah, I didn't want to have to worry about any of that. Because I've kind of been trying to be more consistent and stuff with content and seeing if it'll actually go anywhere. Because I've been streaming and stuff for quite a few years now, and it's been like an on and off thing. So now I kind of wanted to focus on it some more and see what happens. So we'll see. That's a mood, right? I'm sure everybody feels that way when they decide to try to be a content creator, right? Where did I put this plant? Put it right here so it affects the building. What do you still need? A utility. I have this garbage can. It'll fit right here. It will. Nice. Hey, cute. Upgraded. What do I get? What is that? A bell tower? I'm still in the early stages of by comparison. I mean, when people first look at me, they probably think I am too. But you know. And they would probably tell me that I'm spending way too much money. Oh, actually, can I change the color of this? Yeah. Let's like make it match a little better. I think that's as good as we're gonna get it. It looks kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? Alright, let's move this antenna over here and move the tower to the back a little. So it's kind of more in the middle. That looks better. Gotta get customers to come somehow, right? Ring-a-ding-ding! Dinner's ready! Both in-game and out, right? Ain't that the truth? There we go. It says I'm ready to take a picture. I did all the stuff. Should put a table. Let's put a table. Why not? I love how the chairs snap to the table in the proper direction. You don't have to worry about rotating them. Such a nice touch. What is this? A railing. Oh, that would probably be good. You know, so people don't get dead. I wonder if we get any bonuses for using all the items. We might. Let's move this over here. And put down another table. And we got another window. Do I have any place for another window? Put it back here. Oh, there's two. Of course there's two. And there's another port sign. Then we have 2 plants. This is a huge plant. Put one here next to this bench. Then we'll put this one here to hide the garbage can. So customers can't see it. This turned out cute! Yeah, zoom out so you can see my bells. The arch, the focal point. Oh. Snacky. Cool. Crosswaters. Ooh. Marshland pipes. So many places to shanty up. I know. My friend that was in here earlier just bought me this game because it just came out and I've been really wanting it. And I'm a broke ass bunny. So they were kind enough to buy me. It was on sale too for the release, so that was cool. We getting in the boat? Go and zoom in. Wait, is that where we're going? Is in that pipe? That's sick. Ooh, that's gonna. Okay, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. You'll get tastes on it. Aw, thanks. Gosh, shucks. I like city builders and simulation games and cute, cozy stuff like this. It's my favorite kind of stuff. I used to really like RPGs, but I can't. I have a hard time paying attention to them nowadays. Like, I get really bored during the dialogue. So I have a hard time playing them now. Compact nightlife area within the transit pipe. Hence, stack buildings to accommodate density. Alright. A transport stop? Same, been trying Timberborn lately, but it's kicking my ass. I haven't played Timberborn. That's the one with the beavers, right? I watched, City Planner Plays Phil. I watched him play it. What is this? Transport stop. Oh, so it's like a sign, a garbage can, and a... Okay. So that said to make sure to place buildings first. In one of the first hints we got. So we'll do that. Oh no, I placed it the wrong direction. Wait, I put the door... Oh. Put the door here. And a window here. And I'm gonna put the stools right here for now because I want to grab this and rotate it. I can't move it! No, I don't want it there! I want to rotate it! Ah, damn it. Wait, can I start over? Replay. Yes! Yeah, the beer one. It's so cozy till the disaster management rolls in. Oh, fuck. I also do a lot of focusing on indie games, too, because I really like how much indie games have blown up the last few years. I honestly can't tell you the last time I played a AAA game. Stools. I like that the stools are mismatched. I like that the stools are mismatched. There's a lot of really good builders out there too that are builder games that are like a little less stressful. Like they have less of a focus on certain things that make other games really stressful, like money management and stuff. Holy cow! That's a sign. Oh yeah, can I put it on this pole? Maybe that would be cool. Nice. Wait, so does a train come through here? That's what it looks like, right? So I don't think I want to block this off. Most stress-free ones would be good. Yeah. Some of them like don't get stressful until later. Have you played Town to City at all? It's a cute little city builder. In your backlog? It's called Town to City. It's really cute. It's super stress-free. It has a cap on how much money you can make. So it's like really chill from that perspective. Oh, this is like a whole bus stop. Oh. Wait, what does the other side look like? Okay. Shoot. I think I messed up again, because I think we want this to be over here. Probably should have placed this first. And I can't move the buildings once I set them down. Okay, we have to restart again. I have to restart again! The Spiffing Brit is how I found that one. Oh, nice. Yeah, Town to City is really cute. It's cute voxel graphics and it's really chill. There's like zero stress. Like I don't think I've ever felt stressed out playing that game. Very cozy game. Okay, so I guess I should have started with this. This is our, like, bus stop. Or a train stop? I guess it's a train? I don't really know. Like for now, food needs to be made. Alright, enjoy your food. I hope it's omnivorous. Okay, and then buildings. How do I do this? Alright, and then we got the cafe. I gotta think about this. Oh, we still have another building that we need to place down. Plant. Plant right here. Okay, so this I have 2 of these. Holy cow. Okay. Yes, tiny is good. Rotate. There we go. I'm gonna snug this right in here. Wait, didn't give me a door. Oh, it's on this side. Wait, nobody can get to it. Oh my god, this is the worst. I can't move it. I hate this. I have to start over again. Oh, I didn't notice that's where the door was. Okay. Alright, we're starting over again, chat. Fuck. I do really like the bus stop being over here. I wish I could clip it in a little, but I can't. Oh look, you're here. Alright. I'll put the cafe over here actually. And then we'll put the ramen shop in this little corner. A little window. It's really hard to see in the dark. Oh my gosh. Right. Alright, what do we got going on? This needs a light. Can I put this over here? Like that? Well, the vending machine's decoration, not light. Alright, let's get the bar. Now I'll put the window back here. Let's make it a small window. On here, what is this? Like crates or something? Oh yeah, it is. Hey, that upgraded because the light was close enough. What is this? A bath! Ooh. Attached to a building? Oh, it does. Interesting. Where the hell am I gonna put this? Nowhere right now. Alright. Big out of this house. There's gonna be an ad starting in 1 minute. I don't think it would be a fun time having your house attached to a bar, but you know, it's fine. We make do, you know? Where the hell am I gonna put this bath? There's no room for this. Oh, I see. It goes around that way. I mean, that could be kind of cool. Can I move this window? Can't move the window. Okay. I'm gonna go here then. There you go, buddy. Get a bath. Consider yourself bathed. Another bar? Dang. I get another small building by chance? Now it's a 2-story bar. I'm not gonna put that there because I think I'm gonna put a house. Can I put a house on top of the bus stop? That would be interesting, right? I'm just gonna put this here for now because we can move that stuff later. Alright, can I put a house? Oh my gosh, I can put a house on top of the bus station. I don't know how they're gonna get in and out of there, but there they go. That's funny. Alright, I'm going to move this up here on this balcony. I'll put a house up here. Shop supplies. Ooh. I do be looking like a keg. Alright, I have another house here, and I'm gonna put it on top of the cafe. Oh no, there's gonna be another building coming up. I have like no room for more buildings. Wait, how do they get up there? Like, there's no stairs. Is that a door? A door. Yeah. All right. Place 5 electric signs outside the pipe. Oh. Oh, and I can't move them now that I put them on the building. Well, that's good to know. Upgrade 2 shops. this? Electric wire. Okay, that's kind of neat. What is this? Advertisement. Oh no. I have to call babe back. I'm busy, babe. We're building a shanty town. I can't talk. This button. Oh, it has to affect them. Oh, I see. Stop giving me buildings! I don't know what to do with them! Oh my gosh. So many things I need to do. Advertisement. Ooh. What are you gonna give me? What is this? Aquarium. Oh my god, this is freaking giant. Why did I get this? Oh, it affects everybody though. Oh, can I put it like right here? Oh, it's like right in the way. This is also kind of in the way. But it gives everybody decoration points. Brewery tanks. And the bar. You guys also need this. And a garbage can. Electric sign. Hey, let's go. We'll take a balcony. The cafe still needs 2 utilities. Can I put this on here? Can. But I was gonna put one of these here earlier and then I never did. Bench. Rotate. Advertisement. What's up here? I guess I can't. Electric sign. Color. Advertisement. Put it on the building. Who else still needs a utility? Nobody. We're good on utilities. Okay. Just for funsies then. Ooh. Electric sign, because I still need to place 2 more. Dang, I messed up. I'm gonna be missing an electric sign. I still have a whole nother building here that I didn't place down. Upgraded 2 shops at least. Huh. If I keep upgrading stuff, maybe I'll get another sign. Nope. Another vending machine. Pretty cool though, even though I don't have room for this last house. And I have a weird aquarium for some reason. Oh, I'm probably gonna end up redoing this one, I think. I didn't meet the second goal, so you know. You know. Alright, chat. Where's my music? There it is. I found it. I found it! Don't worry. Alright, we're gonna find someone to raid. I'm getting sleepy voice. I'm starting to get all raspy, sleepy voice sounding. That's because it's almost my bedtime. It's almost time for little cheese to go night-night. Let's find someone to raid. Raid! Oh, we're totally raiding Rob. I think he's still doing his subathon. Alright, we're gonna raid Goblingus. He's doing a subathon for his streamiversary. I think it's like 6 years of streaming or something for him. So we'll go say hi to Rob. Diggy, diggy, hole, digging a hole. We'll go see what he's up to. I think he's playing Resident Evil. Yeah, Requiem. Yeah. Alright, chat. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks again to Ash for gifting me Shanty Town. It's really fun and I love it. Okay, getting the fuck out. Wait. I love you. Get eepies and waters and snackies. And get the fuck out. Goodbye. See you on Wednesday.